Music of the Year 2001. Okay, so here we are again talking about a genre that you probably wouldn't normally associate with 2001, and that would be reggae. Obviously, those of you that know a thing or two about reggae know that the genre has never really died. But sometimes I do end up talking to people and they're completely unaware that there's modern reggae out there. They think it's a relic from the 60s and 70s. By this point, reggae was starting to go through some changes. First off, there was dancehall, which had already existed for at least a decade at this point, but was starting to get even more electronic than before. But what was especially getting popular is a subgenre of reggae called Reggaeton. Reggaeton is basically a combination of hip-hop and reggae, which is interesting because the earliest roots of hip-hop can actually be traced back to reggae. So it's like reggae being influenced by one of the genres that it helped influence. As a matter of fact, I'm actually a huge fan of most music from the Caribbean area. But I do need to make it clear, reggaeton's one of those genres that I kind of struggle with, so I'm probably gonna complain a bit during this segment. Please forgive me on that. Halfway Tree, Damien Marley. Yes, he is related to Bob. He's his youngest son and probably the most famous of Bob Marley's children. When I was trying to find reggae releases from '01, Google wasn't much help and even Rate Your Music didn't give me all too many recommendations. So I had to go to the list of Grammy nominations, and this was the album that won for that year. And how is it? Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag for me. See, Damien Marley's considered one of the all-time greats of reggaeton because of the way he raps. But for some reason, with reggaeton, a lot of the rappers have like this very, please don't hate me for saying this, but obnoxious tone to them. Just how aggressively they just go at it and how thick it sounds. It just kind of throws me off. It's just not for me. And there are tons of moments like that on here. And a lot of guest appearances from names that I actually recognize. I was surprised. Some of the beats that are pumped out on here are really fucking good though. Especially when they have more of that Caribbean style to them, like the steel drums and stuff. However, I struggle with it. I tried to get into it, I listened to it a couple of times, but just because of the tones in it, I can't get behind it too much. I'm sure that what Damien is doing, he's highly skilled at it, but just overall, it's not my flavor. And maybe there is a Damien Marley release out there that is for me, but this isn't it. That being said, it's not obnoxiously unlistenable. It's actually quite decent in most places, and most of my complaining is just me not fully understanding it enough to give it a higher grade. So I'm gonna give this thing a B. That's Life, Anthony B. Okay, so this was the album that kept popping up on everyone's radar for 2001 in reggae. And what do I think of it? What do you think I think of it? If I have it on vinyl, what do you think I think of it? This thing was an unexpected fucking masterpiece. Right from the opening track, Good Life, you're just drawn in. Anthony B he has so much talent. And about that song, on the album, he sings along with everyone during the lyrics. He says, good life with the good vibes, brethren is your brethren, sisterin is your sisterin. However, I watched live footage, and what's really cool is he says, brethren is your brethren, and when it gets to the line, sisterin is your sisterin, the backup female vocals sing. Good life with a good vibe, virgin is a virgin, sisterin is your sisterin. And when I've done more research on Anthony B, he is a very progressive individual. Super into cannabis, super into social justice, just all around a great person. And it's reflected in the lyrics here, and it's not just the lyrics that are great, the music is spectacularly well made. The song Fire Upon the Government just makes you want to fucking smash government buildings. I don't condone actually doing that, but it makes you want to. Fire Dance, the title track, All God's Children, all of these super solid fucking songs. One of the songs has this chorus that goes, move to the left and to the right, and you just feel yourself starting to move along to the music like it's completely against your will at that point. This man is fantastic, and I need to check out more of his music. I do have one complaint though, and that's the vinyl release. This thing is an hour long. You can't usually fit an hour's worth of music onto one record. I mean, you can, but it usually sacrifices the sound quality. And that's what I thought I'd be dealing with. I'd just have to turn the volume up a little bit louder and we'd be good. But instead, what they did is they only put the tracks up to Wave Off the Crosses. Like literally what they could fit on here. And if they were dedicated to doing one record, they could have chosen a much better selection of tracks than what they put on here. And while I think this thing is a masterpiece, I do think that there are some tracks that are more deserving than others if you're just gonna go with one disc. Anthony, I know you're probably not watching this, but if you are, please reissue this thing on a double vinyl. I will buy it gladly, because this album is an S tier. And that about does it for this episode. Join me next time and I'll finally get around to hip-hop. See you later.